Just stay right there. Get there right here. There we go. Welcome.
Oh, there we are.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, or whatever. Hey, guys, what up? It's your boy, Edgar, and I'm back with my other lovely boys, Robin Machuca and Will from South Texas, and we're here again for a new episode of the Grand Slam Podcast.
I want to point something out real quick, okay?
Yes.
Before we hit the theme song, which, by the way, theme song by Garuden. Okay, I'll get that one. Theme song by Garuden. Links in the beneath the thing there. There. You look, check him out. He's really good. Fun stuff. Great music. But before we hit the theme song, thank you. Before we hit the theme song, Edgar was like, so sit back and enjoy. And I was just like, well, that is slightly menacing. It's just like, you're going to enjoy it. Oh, okay. You're going to like it. Oh, okay. It's great. It's like, okay. But you will enjoy the show. Robin?
Well, so we're here. We're
We are here.
We're here. Yeah. That's We got the dog and pony show back together. Hey, the dog feels better.
welcome back to the Piker Hassan show.
Shut up. No.
Try to
No.
reverse it so we don't get in trouble.
No.
I'm kidding.
No. That's not what we do here. Oh, by the way, everybody, happy Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
So if you have a 3-day weekend coming up, I hope you enjoy it.
Indeed.
And like, you know, yeah, stuff. Edgar,
yes.
how are you?
Me, I'm doing all right. I just had classes stuff today. I'm really excited because today, a certain video game is released today, since it was stuck on the Wii for quite a long time, and that's the game is. Hold up. Oh god, sorry, I ate a casserole during the pre-show, guys. Oh my god.
By the way,
he's dying.
it was a 9x13 casserole. He made it himself. He sent pictures. You do not get to see them, but it was a 9x13 casserole. Mostly it was just spam. It was just canned spam. And he just laid it in a casserole. And you're thinking that's not a casserole. Casseroles have layers and a lot of different ingredients.
I mean, the casserole was. I don't know how to best describe how big the casserole was, but it was a casserole that was supposed to be like for families. But you know, I'm here alone, and you know, I did some couple of walking, and I've been keeping myself staying hydrated with some water, and I was like, I'm real hungry, so I got myself a giant casserole. I was able to put it in a plate, and I ate all of it. It was all right.
Cold. He ate all of it cold and frozen. He put it on a plate for the formality of the situation, and it was frozen. He actually just left it by the window for about 45 minutes, which in Texas thawed it. It was still cold in the center, but kind of warmish on the outside. He gave us a play-by-play via texting. Y'all didn't hear any of that during the show. But he was going, oh, hey, I'm getting to the icy bits now. And we were like, Edgar, stop. That's not okay. And he just went, crunch. Anyway, what? But how on a scale of 1 to 7, how good was that casserole, Edgar?
I think I'd give it a 7. A 7 or 6. I mean, it's not the best casserole there, but it did fill me up, and you know, it was a casserole that had chicken in it, broccoli, cheese.
Well, I hope it would fill you up because it was a family-sized casserole. If you can eat more than a family-sized casserole, you might be me. Anyway, Robin.
Yes, Robin. How are you doing?
Well, so here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing good. So I'm doing pretty good. I just finished watching the movie we had to watch. So
Oh, excuse me. That is true. Same
yeah,
here.
um, so really all I got fresh in my mind is that.
Indeed. And you
So
will?
I'm doing pretty good. Um, I sent y'all a picture of a little 3D print that I had made at my
Oh,
local
yes.
library. They have a 3D printer, and it came
Ooh.
out really, really good. It's a sculpture from 1937. I mean, the original is a sculpture from 1937, but so um, this is a little plastic thing, but it's really nice. The details there.
Ooh.
Now, when you and I learned a lot. I've actually learned quite a bit about 3D printing because I have a friend who works at the library, but the guy who's also works at the library, who's kind of more in charge of the 3D printing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
kind of walked me through some of the steps of you get the I don't know, format, I guess I could call it, online
Mm.
on free websites, and then you plug that into a uh program, and you can adjust things. So like, let's say I wanted this same figurine, but I wanted it slightly larger. So you can like expand it and do all the stuff. You have to you can thicken or thin out the walls of the 3D print. Um, if you have like, this is a kind of a tall little figurine, you have to add supports while it's printing because you can't print in air, so you have to print off
Mm.
of the support, right?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Um, Now, something I learned is that once you print it with all the supports and everything, you obviously have to like pick those apart. And like, I have a project ahead of me for the coming week. I have to go buy a X-Acto knife and a piece of very fine sandpaper so that I can go over and sand off some of like, there's just little pieces of plastic randomly around uh the little figurine. And so you just have to go through and like very carefully cut out some of the supporting pieces and sand it down to make it, smoother and nicer. But it's really nice, I think, thus far.
Oh.
I've
hmm.
got quite a bit of work to do, but I mean, it's plastic. It's not like it's like steel, so it'll just be a
Indeed.
little fiddly. And my buddy's gonna help me out because he's done this before, not for this exact kind of thing, but in general. So it'll be
Yeah.
a fun little project. So I'm doing
Nice.
pretty well.
Nice.
Edgar?
Yeah. Yeah, because I always like 3D printing looks interesting, and I always think like, even like if it's just just like it's a bit of plastic, I still think it's like pretty cool to be like, oh look, it's something like we 3D print, like you 3D printed, and it's like, hell, you can make like little stuff with it, or like little hand holders, or like something you could place items on, or anything with like the possibilities with the 3D printer could technically be endless.
Oh, they are. I actually, like, last week. Okay, the first time I 3D printed something, all at my local library. Um, I had a couple of keychains made, just little keychains that I wanted, and I gave one to my friend, and I kept one. And
Nice.
I also had, because COVID is still around. We're masking up again, and um, the masks that I have, I don't know about. I don't know if y'all have to wear masks a lot or for long periods of time, but the band that holds the mask onto your ears, it hurts my ears. It's like a
Yeah,
constant pulling, and it hurts. I made these.
especially when you have to eat or drink something really quick, so
Hmm.
you like
Yeah,
have to pull it down. Yeah.
I one of the guys that worked at the library made these little mask holders, and they're basically just little plastic things with little tongs on the side. So you slip the elastic band into them, and they catch, and that puts the pressure of the mask on the back of your head as opposed to on your ears. So
Hmm.
it's way more comfortable. And I've used it like when I've gone shopping or whatever,
Yeah.
and because sometimes it takes a while to shop, and
Yeah.
no pain or anything. So I like it, and because the way the library does it is they charge by the amount of time it takes for the print to be made, as opposed for like the amount of material. Well, if
Mhm.
it takes longer to print, that would seem to indicate that there would be more material used anyway. But I got 3 of those things made for like $1. So like it was worth it because I can use one, my parents can use one. And if they break or something, I'll just get some more made. It was $1, and they're useful
Not bad. Not
and
bad.
functional. Yeah.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, I've been on this little 3D printing journey over the last 6 months, and it's been kind of fun.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
I'm thinking about getting them a couple of more fun things made, but
Hmm.
more details to follow. Um,
Oh,
Oh yeah.
oh Jesus.
But I did see in the chat about someone being excited for Sonic Colors. I'm super excited for that game. I played that. That was the only 3D Sonic game I've ever beaten, and I'm excited to play that game. I am gonna be streaming that game. This probably will be dated in the podcast, but I'll talk more about when I'll be streaming that after we review.
oh,
But we came to review today. And yes, Robin.
well, I just got my next new game um, for PS5, so I'm excited to play it soon. Doesn't come out till a little bit later, but um, I'm usually a sucker for FIFA, and I was like, I wanted to get the new one, so I got the new one, and I'm excited to play it. So,
Nice. New. No. But we did came here. We're here today, ladies and gentlemen, for as you can see in the title. um, we're gonna review. We're continuing our Shark Month with the
Shark
follow
Dust.
with the second to last film in this franchise. Since we're going backwards, which is Jaws Dose, the sequel to Jaws.
Yes.
Dose. Jaws 2.
Can
And,
I
no,
just?
wait. The sequel to Jaws Dos would be Jaws Tres.
or Joss Dose Square.
Oh God. Now we're getting meta. Somebody help. Anyway, Robin.
Um, I just want to say for this movie that, like, out of the sequels, I feel like this is the better movie.
Oh yeah. Uh, if we're really gonna go in and we're really gonna compare like all of them, like overall, and this is the least I was annoyed with.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't much that it wasn't like bad good like Jaws: The Revenge, or it wasn't like super bad like Jaws 3. It was it was overall just more of the same.
Yeah.
But it was basically the first movie, but without anything else. And
Without Richard Dreyfuss.
yeah, and
Yeah. But it also didn't have Michael Caine or a young Dennis Quaid in it. So like, there's good and bad with everything. Here's talking about this movie. Here's my problem with it. And I was so like gung ho about this, like, oh yeah, hell yeah, we're gonna do Shark Month. Kiki. Like I was so gung ho when we first thought about it. And then I watched 2 shark movies 2 weeks in a row, and then had to watch this one. I was like, this is another goddamn shark movie. And honestly, what's the plot? There's a shark. What's gonna happen? People get eaten. And then there's going to be a rush about like, oh no, what do we do about the shark? Drama. There's probably going to be sailing and boats, and
And
also uh
romance.
and an obligatory like 70s romance where it's just like, oh hey, it's the young kids, and they go, by the way, the drinking age must have been 18 still, because
Yeah.
some of the people in this movie are 20. Like, I did the math. Like, I went back and I was like, okay, who are the actors in this movie? I don't remember their names. And then I went, okay, cool, Wikipedia, and I just opened up a bunch of tabs, and I was like, born in 1958, movie made in 1978. Okay, so they're 20, and they're all at a bar, and they're playing young people. Like, I think some of them are just like just out of like, high school.
Yeah, I
And
think they were supposed to play. They seemed like, I guess they were supposed to be high
So
schoolers, but
and it was not. So this came out in 1978. It wasn't until 1984 is when the drinking age was made 21.
mm.
Okay,
So
see, now we know. And I was just like, so they're just like drinking at a bar, huh? Wow, the 70s. Um and like, so I was like, okay, so that's interesting. And then
mhm.
also there's like this weird, um speaking of romance, there's like this weird like it's not really a subplot, but it's just like a thread that goes through this movie where there's this thin, nerdy kid with like a curly hair. Okay, that wasn't a burp. That was a demon talking. We're not counting it as a burp. Fine, I'll count it as a burp. I'll count it as a burp. But there's this like thin, nerdy kid who like lives on what's the name of the island community?
Amity
Amity
Island.
Amity Island. Okay, and like
Yeah.
I think what they're driving at in this is like there's people who like summer in Amity Island, and then there's people who live there year round, right? And
Yeah.
he lives there year round, like he just lives there, and he's not one of like the rich people who just show up in the summer. And he's, nerdy and all that crap, right? And he likes one of the rich girls who's very pretty and yada yada, and he's like, oh, she's never gonna like me because I live here and I'm nerdy and thin. And then like he gets her on the boat, and he's like, oh geez, yay, Scoob. um and then and then
Like Scoob, I got a girl on the boat with me, man.
Raggy, there's sharks.
Like Scoob,
Relax,
stop
Scoob.
being. Relax, Scoob. You're acting paranoid, man. Fuck you, Reggie. Whoa.
Okay, we're gonna stop this bit now because I know where we know where the meme goes. Just look it up on the internet. It's stuff. Anyway, and like, oh cool, the nerdy guy got the real
Yeah.
nice, wealthy girl from
Yeah.
the stuff, and they're
Yeah.
friends now, right?
Like
And
I
I was
like
like,
I like one of
it's
my
weird. So that's a
Mhm.
weird plot point. It
Yeah.
got shoehorned in real hard
Yeah,
though.
and that's a lot of like the main issue with this movie. There is a lot of just like a lot of these little mini side plots that don't really go anywhere and have no purpose into this film. Like that
Yeah.
whole nerdy plot never goes anywhere other than, oh, he gets the girl, even though we have no idea who he
I
is
always
or
like
who's his background
I always
stuff.
thought that it was just weird. Like it just kind of they just kind of were popped in there as if they were like, oh look, you know what they looked like? They looked like shooed in SNL characters to be put into a canon movie, like of some universe, just for the fuck of it. That's just what they felt
Kinda.
like.
And there was a lot of them. Like they would always have like focuses
They
on
were-
like certain college students that were like they never go anywhere. It's like, why are we focusing on them? Shouldn't we be focusing on our main characters like the Brody
Yeah.
family and them trying to like get the shark? Because the main plot is he's trying to prove that Jaws is still alive, even
Yeah.
though we in the movie we saw him.
Or not that Jaws is still alive. Not that Jaws is still alive, but that there is a shark like Jaws out there.
Yeah.
Because they never said that they were really related.
Mm-hmm. But the movie makes it technically say that it is the Jaws from the first one because the shark has those scars.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I thought those scars were from when okay, let's talk about this scene. Okay, so about 20 minutes, 23 minutes into the movie, there is two ladies on a
I was
boat.
gonna say.
One lady is driving the boat and the other lady is on a skis behind the boat, okay? And they're having a great time. And she's really good at skiing. And the other lady seems to be driving the boat with great skill, I would add,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And then, because it's the name of the movie, Jaws happens.
Yeah.
And
But I
lady in
remember,
the
like,
water on the skis gets chomped. And then the shark, like, charges the boat and, like, the lady grabs Diesel.
Her first instinct was to grab the tank of diesel or gasoline, and she tries to throw it, but she ends up pouring herself with gasoline, and then it immediately grabs like that flare gun to shoot at it, and it causes to catch her and the boat on fire, and the boat explodes.
And the shark.
Yeah,
so her,
but the thing is, I
boat
remember
and the shark are all on fire for
because
a brief second.
I remember seeing the shark with the scar already when we got with him. That's why when the shark first shows up and we see his face, I already assumed that, like, oh, he already has a scar, because the first kill he actually does in the movie was with the two guys scuba diving underwater, and they find a boat that's at the Okra, and they're like going around and they're taking pictures, and you see Jaws like that.
I think
you
it
barely
was
see Jaws though.
I think it was the fire that scarred the shark.
No,
I mean,
it was the fire, because you could barely see the shark because they purposely did that so you wouldn't see it. And you don't,
because in the diving scene in the very beginning, don't we just like kind of see like the shark goes like Mar, and then like the guy takes the photo, obviously, and we'll get to the photo, everybody, because that's fun. But like the shark goes like Mar, and then camera flash, and then like, you know, he got Jaws.
Well, technically, we don't see the scuba divers, quote unquote, get eaten. They just spin around like if they got like sucker punched by Jaws himself.
Because like sucker punch, it grew to arms. Just punch the shark.
They're just spinning around and around and around.
He just turns into Rocky.
Oh man, but I don't know. That's how I saw it at the beginning. I just remember seeing it like it showed like he had the scars already before the explosion, but it could be the explosion that gave him the scars. But I'm not willing to go back to really rewatch this film just to find it. So we'll see. But yeah, the kill that starts it all was the boat exploding in the ocean because of because of the lady's dumb idea of accidentally pouring herself in gasoline and exploding. And so they're trying to investigate, and he's feeling like, oh, it's a shark attack. But, you know, I guess that it shows that years have passed because the kids, the Brody's kids, they're already growing up. One's already look like he's about to graduate high school, and the other one's like already like out of middle school, almost going to elementary, one of those kind of situations or some shit. And I guess everyone kind of forgot that there was a shark attack that killed people and killed a kid in the first one. And everyone's all like, it's fine. There's no shark. You shouldn't be scaring anyone.
Just shut up, Billy. I will slap you if you don't shut up.
Hey, I don't give a shit. The shark ain't gonna come. There's no shark. You should stop being paranoid. We want our people here. We want visitors to come in. So don't ruin it, man. Don't ruin it, that shit, man.
Okay, Phil, come on in.
Yeah, meet my son. I want you to meet my son, Mayor's son. Say hi, Mayor's son.
Yeah, that was weird too. Like, say hi to my son, Larry Jr. Hi, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, and it happened like several times in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I know it's like he's playing like the like scummy politician where he's like, "This is my boy. Okay, now leave." You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, but still.
And I guess it's because they're introducing a lot of characters in this movie that we don't really see any resolution with them, or even, and there was no reason at all to have them in these scenes or to have them, other than the grand finale of what happens at the end with the big shark fight. But it just that was like the biggest thing where it comes like my thoughts like, did you guys just really forget about the shark attack that happened?
Yeah.
and how it freaked the entire town around. Did we just forget about that? And you just want to continue? Okay. Oh, we're not going to focus on a nerdy guy that wants to be with his girl, and it's already done. Oh, okay. Oh, are we going to focus on the boys and his love interest? Oh, we're not. Oh, okay. Oh, are we going to meet these two nerdy kids that read books and they're just on a boat together alone? Oh, we're done with that. Oh, okay. And that's how the movie just felt like that. They have all these other side plots that come in, and the film should have never ever been like focused on those, because it just extends the film longer than it should be. This film should not have been an hour and 50 minutes. The film could have been shortened down like drastically, especially if you cut everything out with like those side plots of like other characters that we don't need to meet or anything. This film would have been would have been condensed and maybe could have been like decent, but because even after you take away that, the film just overall is just the repeat of the first film. Literally, it's just it takes on this different kind of twist, and it shows that like it was the start of saying like, did we really need a sequel to Jaws? I mean, even after that, as we saw with how it goes, is like I don't know, but I will say the second movie is the one where you see that it still has a budget at the time, because they do.
Oh yeah,
because the shark doesn't look like how shit it does in the third and fourth one. It doesn't look like that. It looks like
this looks like the exact same one they used from the first movie.
Yeah, and it looks like it shows that it functions. It looks like that it works really well. It's like the same.
They're not using B-roll footage of actual sharks just to be like, hey, it's a shark.
Well,
oh yeah.
They had some instances like a bit, but they weren't like as like dependent as the other two films. This one they had like a actual functioning shark that would move and would like you could see a bit of articulation with it and stuff.
And they brought in John Williams to do the score.
That is true.
Like he did the first one.
Yeah, and like there was like a lot of like the score that you hear from this really does sound like it's like it is John Williams' score, and unlike the third and fourth movie where it's just they only got the original theme song, nothing else.
Yeah.
So I guess it was like, because this movie was basically coming out from the success of the first film, so of course they had the same actors come back. Like you see the mayor back and anyone else that was from the first film, and even like and John Williams as well. So. And after that, you don't see them after that, because as you can see, the film really didn't get that well reviewed, and then as it kept going on, really got worse and worse.
Yeah. It was a money grab, because it was like, hey, everybody liked Jaws, it's the greatest movie to come out in 1972.
Yeah, it was a
73?
big blockbuster. Yeah, it was a blockbuster hit. So
75, 1975.
So like to Hollywood, they're like, yeah, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's make a sequel to Jaws. Let's bring him back from the dead. We'll do that, and then we'll do it again and again.
Yeah.
Oh damn, Annie Rack, man! Thank you for the hamburger. Hope you like that hamburger. Hope that hamburger is the best hamburger you had in your goddamn life. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for accepting burger.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I did a golf clap because I'm classy. Here's a thing to show you about why all of the sub twists and plots were not needed. How many of those characters' names do you remember? Let me list the ones that I remember. Chief, because I don't remember his real name. Ellen, but I think I only remember her name because I watched the fourth one. Let's see, Mike, Sean. There's a Sean in there somewhere.
Yeah, one of the kids.
That's it. That's the names of the character. Oh, Jaws. I remember Jaws because it's the title.
It's like
I just remembered Sean, Mike, Martin, who's Chief, and that was really it. Yeah. Like, I completely forgot about the mom from the fourth movie in this one also.
Mhm.
So it's just like,
Oh, wait,
okay.
wait. You know what? I do remember one more character. One of the boat's names was the Sea Witch, and I liked that. It's not a character as so much as it's a prop. It's a boat.
Oh.
One of the boats was
Yeah.
the Sea Witch. So, that's kind of fun.
Yes, the popular character Jaws too. Thank you for reminding us, Mr. Captain Vulgar. We can't forget about that popular character. Jaws 2.
Remember, it's Jaws 2. This time, more Jaws. Actual, more teeth. They
Bigger
actually
Jaws.
Bigger Jaws.
more Jaws.
From,
More
like,
eating. And
Also,
speaking of Jaws, oh, sorry, Edgar.
okay, I was gonna say, do you guys remember when Mr. Brody, the main cop, was like, after he was like so like getting real paranoid, like he's gonna catch this shark, where he started getting the bullets and he was putting poison on the ends of the tips of the bullets and then like covering them with candle wax. I was just like,
And
what the
doing a
hell?
shit job of it, by the way.
Yeah, it was like
Some of those were not covered properly.
no.
Also, can we talk about the fact that there's an orca in this movie?
Oh yeah,
in
it
in
just came out.
Massachusetts, in the summer of Massachusetts, there's an orca, which doesn't make sense.
That is bitten and scratched to pieces, and there was a scientist that was there to say that that they're, how do you say that that she was there to be like, oh, that wasn't a shark attack. You're just going crazy, Mr. Policeman. And
No,
he's all like,
it wasn't even that. That would have added to the plot. Her whole
Mhm.
point was saying, like, the Brody, Chief Brody, was like, "Well, is it a shark attack?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. Might be. Could be another orca. I don't know."
oh,
And he's going, "Well, what do you think?" I have no idea. Well, why not? This has been in the ocean. This was bitten. These are
Yeah.
not These are not immediately life-threatening bites. By the way, the orca's face is half gone, just so we
Yeah.
know.
yeah, it's,
And it's like it probably died. Could have been miles out. The tide probably brought it in. All of the little critters in the sea have been taking little bites out of this thing. And I'm like, could you give an opinion? Could you give something like maybe this was a shark? Yeah, it could be. Uh-huh.
could be,
Her
could-
character was just like blasé about this orca
Very
that's been
obvious, like,
eaten.
yeah,
Mhm. But they're like,
very
"Ah,
obvious
could-"
orca.
They're like, couldn't have been a shark. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no shark here anymore, you know.
That was it a shark? I don't know. Where am I? Who are you?
Who are
I don't
you?
know what's going on.
Is my scene done? Can I go now? Can I get my paycheck? Can I go now?
I need to go talk to William Shatner to see if he'll let me be on his.
I want to be in a Star Trek movie. Anyway.
So, check movie.
Oh, also, can we talk about like? So he puts the poison in the hollow tip bullets, and then he puts just wax over those, right?
Yeah.
Really shittily, and then cut to him going into the observing tower at the beach, and he's just like looking in the water, right? And there's a dark spot in the water, and he's like, "Yo, that's definitely a shark.
That definitely do be a shark, though.
That's definitely a shark.
Shark.
Definitely, that's got to be a shark." So he rings the bell, starts yelling for everybody to get out of the water, freaks people out. He unholsters his gun, so now people are freaked out because there's a man with a gun running around, and he fires into the water. Which, I don't know if you've ever seen Mythbusters, but they've done that, and bullets just like shatter once they hit water, unless they're like a certain caliber, and then they do stuff and blah blah blah. But like these are also hollow points. Hollow points, just Anyway, we don't got to get into like the physics of it all. That being said, he's just firing into water.
I do think it's kind of weird that he then decided to pull out an M16 and just start firing into the air, and like he just started yelling like, "Where are my pants?" And then I realized I think I watched the wrong movie.
Oh my God, did you watch Craigifer Jones and the really unfortunate crocodile at the beach with the family?
Yeah,
Um, which, by the
Whoa.
way, I'm gonna be honest, not my favorite Craigifer Jones movie. I
it
said it.
Oh
was
shit.
I
it was
know.
kind of it was honestly,
I think
Will,
it was a money grab.
honestly, it was kind of dumb. Like
Uh huh.
literally, like the character they played made him dumb, which is like you don't do that to Craigifer Jones. Why would you make him dumb?
Oh fuck. Did they really
Well,
like dishonor the Craigifer Jones legacy with that?
Yeah, they did. It just
well, I think that was in that. I'm eating chips. I
Mm.
think that was in the time where, as we all know, Craigifer Jones had their very famous, infamous, tax scandal,
Oh shit.
where it turns out they didn't pay any.
Oh, and
Um,
it was like a George Lazenby type situation where they had to get rid of the original actor, and then they brought in some other one, and then the original actor came back. You know, like how they
yeah.
went from Sean Connery to George Lazenby, then back to Sean Connery for one other movie.
Oh. Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
and like you know how Nicolas Cage just takes any movie that he can get because of taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, right.
let's
So
just
like
like
Craigifer Jones for a while was taking all the movies, not because of the tax thing, although that would prove to be a factor, but
yeah.
also because Craigifer Jones decided one day, and this is well documented,
Mm.
um, I'm just gonna take all the jobs, and they did, and some gems in that. Craigifer Jones and the lady who threw a sword at me from the pond. That's a good one.
Oh shit. I haven't seen that
Um,
one yet.
oh, that's a classic. A lot of people thought it was trying to ride on the coattails of like you know the great 90s miniseries Merlin, but this actually came out
Oh.
before that. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh
they
shit.
it just
Okay.
the post production company that they had took way longer on it because of all of the effects, which that's what you get when you get uh George Lucas's cousin in, you know? I
Oh.
mean, they just take longer.
I did think it was kind of weird that oh they used modern day Gary Busey as Craigifer Jones.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that but Craigifer Jones directed it. So I mean, you know, you
Yeah.
get Busey. You just get Busey. It's what you got to do.
Oh
Uh
damn.
but back to Jaws 2, which is really what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah.
Um Although I could go on and on about the Craigifer Jones film library that I have.
Yes.
And I will. So Craigifer, no, I'm just kidding. Back to Jaws. Let's see. Oh, so he just fought. Okay, we're back at the beach, the tower, the
Yeah,
dark,
he
dark
shot on
thing in
he
the
shot at the
water,
water.
shooting the water. Um, he's not aiming. He's not like aiming. He's like shooting, not from the hip. It's a revolver, right? But he's just
Yeah.
kind of like shooting into the water, and like there's a kid downrange from him, like
It looked like
in
there
the
was a brief
water.
moment. There was a brief moment. Yeah, I was gonna say that it looked like he was about to aim at the kid and just shoot the kid. And I was like, "Oh no! Why? What? Well, why is Roy Scheider, the actor from the first Jaws, about to commit kid murder?"
He was about to commit
You know
a
what?
murder.
I have
He
that
had enough.
answer. The kid was in on it.
Yes.
That kid was telling Jaws exactly where everyone was.
Oh
Hey,
shit.
hey, Jaws.
He was an
Uh,
accomplice.
there's kids over there,
Oh, there
and
is.
you want to get them. That was the kid's voice, by the way. It did that shift. Possessed by the devil, that child. But
Yes.
so
By
that's
Pazuzu.
what?
The kid was possessed by Pazuzu.
I am Pazuzu.
And then Jaws was like, "Oh, okay, okay, boy."
Jaws was like, "Hey, whoa, I'm a Catholic. I don't want to get involved with no devil stuff. I mean, I might be an animal who is eating people, but like that's just because I'm hungry. I'm not in no devil stuff, and like that's
Yeah.
fine if that's what you want to do, young
Now,
child. But
I
have my religious beliefs.
Now, me being a Catholic, I need to ask you one question. Where are the deviled eggs? I am dying for some deviled eggs right now.
Okay, you know what? In a brief aside, I really do love some deviled eggs.
I wonder if there's a place here that sells deviled eggs.
You know what? HEB or Walmart might have them. I know. I think you can order them at HEB. Sometimes I don't know always, but sometimes they get a little tray of them of like a dozen deviled eggs. We like deviled eggs here, folks. And if you've never had a deviled egg, I recommend it. They got mayonnaise in them. Anyway,
Which, yeah.
Mayonnaise.
So
he shoots the water
really
and there's nothing in the water, and then he gets fired.
Yeah, he gets fired, but he only gets fired after he brings photo evidence. I told you we'd come back to the photo. Photo evidence of this big damn shark, and he's like, okay, it's not a good photo. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
It's dark. And he takes it to like the city council, and oh, by the way, there's like a real estate developer on the city council, and
just like in the first movie.
Yeah, and Chief Brody's wife, Ellen, works for the real estate developer as his like. Okay, she seems to be his secretary, his public relations expert, like the party planner. I'm pretty sure like she's just like in charge. More like the every party needs a pooper. That's why we invited you. Party pooper. Anyway, so like she does everything for this dude. I think he just has money and just is like, I want to be in real estate. And she was like, okay, well, let me make a plan for that. And like she is, and I quote the real estate developer, irreplaceable, right? So, but the real estate developer hates her husband, Chief Brody. So Chief Brody storms into this meeting with this bad picture. It's dark, but like you can see there's like, you know, a shark snout nose area, the front part, the business end of the shark, right? And it's got this big eye and like the kind of, you don't see the teeth, but you see like the gum line, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, that's a shark. Except he doesn't say it that calmly. He's like, that's a shark. Big shark. And they all go, naturally, okay, let's just look at that picture then. We're going to go into the other room. You just stay here. And the minute they go in that other room, they're just like, we got to fire this guy. He is unhinged. He shot at children. He didn't shoot children. He shot at them.
This bitch is crazy.
Guys, I think the chief might be on some kind of, you know, weird diet. I think he's eating only junk food and is about to go on some kind of a rampage. We ought to fire him. We should. That'll help the situation. So they fire him, and he comes home
drunk.
He comes home drunk, and then gets home, and his deputy, who is now the chief, well, they're gonna offer him the job in the morning, right? He pours this guy and himself half a glass, a tall glass, half of a pint glass of bourbon. And he's just like, congratulations. And he just pours him this giant glass of bourbon. He's like, drink up. That would be illegal. He drove there, sir. Yep. You were the chief of police. You should know he can't drink all of that and then drive. But that's besides the point. Although, you know what? It was the late 70s. Maybe you could. I don't know.
Possibly, I guess.
It was the 70s. I don't know if there were laws.
Yeah.
I think there was like one law, and it was like disco, and that was it, right? That was the 70s. Yeah. It was like disco, and that's it.
And then during at the same time when the Brady man's getting fired because of the photo, his son plans on to sneak out of the house early in the morning to go to go on the boats with his high school friends and to be with his the lover he wants to be with, his crush. And so he goes, and what's that noise? It's like some wind noise.
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to cool off. It's just getting warm in here.
Gotcha.
Robin has a superpower, which is he can control weather. So he opened a window and he stuck his hand out like a Jedi reaching for a lightsaber to force pull it, and the wind just went whoosh. So that's Robin. Actually a wizard. Edgar?
Yeah. So he sneaks out, but he also brings his little brother because his little brother was about to snitch on him. And they're like, fine, come on, little bro, let's go boating. And then they go boating, and, they're doing their own thing. They're like, haha. And then we cut to a scene with scuba divers. And they're like, okay, guys, we're going to go get lobsters underwater. Let's go. If you find a lobster, bring it in. And then they're like, okay. They go underwater, and then that's when Jaws attacks. He attacks one of the scuba divers. And they're
hey,
like,
everybody, we're going to go get lobsters. Now, you remember how I told you how to catch the lobster? You got to boop it on the snoot. That stuns it for about 35, 45 minutes. It doesn't know what just happened. And you bring it up to the boat, and we put it in a burlap sack. Burlap is, of course, a natural calming element for lobsters. Then we put the burlap sack into water, so the lobster will be even calmer. And then we really hope there's no sharks. Okay, cool. Everybody jump in at the same time and swim.
3,
And
2, 1, go.
they do.
Oh, my God.
And then,
See,
of course,
I'm Will from South Texas, and I know a lot about marine biology. You might have read my books. Will from South Texas presents Shark Facts, volumes 1, 3, and 8.
And you can get those in a pack for $3.99 each. Now, we can't sell you the whole bundle, but if you want to get the whole bundle, you're going to have to also buy 35. Let's actually get a timer right on the screen, folks. Let's see how much we can sell within that timer.
For the next 45 minutes, if you buy Will from South Texas' Shark Facts, volumes 1, 3, and 8, the others were not printed, and I do hate my publisher for it. You'll also get my manifesto, which is Lobsters and You, which is actually why my love letter to lobster, and why they are nature's most noble creatures.
Yes.
And should be protected. Crabs, on the other hand, are bastards. But anyway, I spent my life talking to shellfish mostly. And in fact, I'll teach you how to say hello in shellfish. You gotta be real quiet because shellfish have very powerful hearing. Okay. And you gotta go right up to them and you go, and that sounds like a dolphin. Dolphins actually speak shellfish mostly.
I thought Will was gonna just do this, like, okay, time to give it up.
No, wait. This is what you do. You get real close to the shellfish, you go, whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Stefan. In the chat, he did put, it's from the same publishers of Robin shares how to chop an onion with fear.
God damn it. Oh my God. Okay, so Jaws.
Yes, one of the scuba divers gets attacked by Jaws. He gets sucker punched like the other ones from the beginning of the movie. And then we go back to those kids, and those kids are like, haha, we're having fun. We're in the water, we're pool. And then we cut to these random couple that we don't know who they are. They're like, hey, babe, you want to have sexual intercourse? And she's like, yes, I would love sexual intercourse.
That's exactly how they say it. My God, it's almost like I'm watching the movie again.
And so they both start getting ready to do sexual intercourse.
And let me just say, it's at this point that you say, the foreshadowing is the shark's going to show up. And guess what, folks?
The shark.
You're right. The shark shows up.
And
the shark cock blocked those college students, like, you know.
He cock blocked that couple by eating the guy, and because the guy fell in the water. He's like, "Oh, well, I'm trying to go in," but the girl's so scared to help him.
Well, that's not something to say.
Yeah. She yells at him like from far away. She's like, "Swim faster! The shark's coming after you!" And he's all, "I'm trying." And he's like, "Hurry up! The fish is." I got it.
Quaid, I'm swim faster.
I'm trying to swim. I can't swim. And then the shark comes and
I can't swim with my lobster claws. I assume.
And then he gets dragged like by Jaws. I guess Jaws is dragging him by something because he's getting like pulled in the water. It's like, God, then he hits himself in the boat, and she gets scared. And instead of she's so traumatized and scared that she can't move to go and help her boyfriend up to get on the boat. She just watches him get eaten by Jaws, and she just screams, and then she starts shaking. And then that's when we cut to the Brody parents, and they're driving around, but then he sees an ambulance, and then he follows the ambulance. But before he could fully follow the ambulance, he follows
he just burps violently.
He got stopped by a truck who was gonna go, I guess, fishing, because he had his boat in the back of him. He's like, "Hurry up, get the fuck out of the way." And then when he gets out of the way,
exactly. My God, Edgar, you are just so good.
The guy driving the truck is just like, whatever. Yeah, an ambulance just went by, but like, you're a police officer and are totally not like. He wasn't even flashing his lights. First of all,
okay,
he could have been flashing his. You know what?
That's it. I'm calling somebody.
I'm calling my congressman about this 1978 film. And then the rest of the plot points are really just like, yeah, of course that was going to happen. Yeah. Although the one interesting thing was, do you remember the son? All right, the son who takes his younger brother out, and they all want to go sailing on the boats, and the dad has told them they're not allowed to.
I really wanted to be a dick and just go like, when you said like, "Do you guys know the sun?" I'm like, "Yeah, I see it every day when I go outside."
By the way, Robin, we've been meaning to tell you that that's really bad for your eyesight. I mean, we haven't, because we kind of like that when after the sun goes down and you come back in, you hit your shin on the couch, and it's like funny.
My retinas.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so all the kids go out, and they all have sailboats, and some of them are nicer than others, and so there's like a varying class diversity here, right? They got friends from all sides of the tracks, and so they go out and they're sailing and stuff, and it's nice. And the whole time, I don't know about y'all, but I was going, they're all gonna die.
I honestly thought they were all gonna die.
Yeah, it's like it's like you have all these kids, and you're like, okay, how many of them are gonna die? And it turns out not many, and but
like two.
Yeah, only two. Yeah, overall two.
Two died, and one of them got bit like in the hip, but was fine. Like the shark with its giant mouth managed to bite this one girl in like the hip, and it was like, oh, but she's fine. It was a grazing wound. Like, what? No. Where's the blood? There's more blood. It's the hip and the big mouth of the shark. How did the shark not just go, ow, and eat her, right? Because by the way, there's no other bodies.
No.
There's all of these shark attacks, and there's no bodies or anything.
That is
the shark
that is true.
eating these bodies
Well, technically, we do see only one of the bodies, and that's when the Brody guy, the chief police, is walking in the water, and then he encounters a corpse, and it was like the burned corpse.
That was the burned one. It wasn't even eaten.
And then all the other bodies, like, we never see them again. Like, they never show any of the dead bodies.
Nope.
Only the injured ones. Only the injured ones. And so, you know how the kids are like, they're all like playing the boats and all that stuff. Then Jaws comes in and, starts ripping these boats apart. And he's like, oh yeah, fuck these boats.
Pissed
fuck
off.
boats.
I'm an angry. I almost said horse. I'm an angry shark. I'm gonna start destroying everything.
Jaws is a horse in disguise.
Well, Robin, I'm happy you read my book, Sharks, the Horses of the Sea. And if you come back at me with, well, what about seahorses? Read my fucking book. Anyway, so here's the thing about the scene with the kids on the boat and the shark comes and like, oh no, bad things happen.
Yeah.
You want to know who does more damage to the boats than the shark? The kids. The kids immediately are just like, oh no, let's throw logic out the window. The shark is so scary, we're going to forget how to sail.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah.
They just run their boats into each other because, they're stupid children who are just like, hey, let's go out to the lighthouse and, like, drink heavily and also not care about our well-being. Yeah. Despite the fact that one of our dads was the chief of police and he went crazy about there being a shark, but we're going to live forever. Turns out, two of you aren't. So they run the boats into each other, capsize one of them. One of them just capsizes because they turned left. The shark didn't hit the boat.
Left.
They turned left, and the boat just goes.
It is
the shark only.
It is
one
of those boats that it's a specific type of sailboat where it's like speeding sailboat. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's a specific type of sailboat. That's why it looks like it's turning left. But I think they just overdid it, and then they just capsized.
It's so funny how like Jaws only attacked like one of the boats and tipped him over, but all the other incidents of the boats getting fucked up was because the kids all crashed at each other. They're like, and they fucking break.
They turned into a Skrillex song. God damn it.
By the way, we are not sponsored by Skrillex.
No.
Nor would we be.
Nor
would we want to be. There, I said it. We've got Garuda and we don't need Skrillex.
Hell yeah.
Or his less popular cousin, Skillets, and he makes music on pots and pans. Skillet.
That's Skillets. No, we're not.
You can find them at your local grocery stores.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so all of the boats get vaguely destroyed, except for one. And they take Michael. You remember the son Michael? Well, he hits his head on the mast of one of the boats and gets knocked the hell out. And they go, oh no, Michael's injured.
Oh yeah, and also his little brother was on a ship, like on a boat with this girl that we have no idea who this girl is, but apparently the girl always offers to take the guy's little brother on the boat to ride with her. We have no idea who this woman is, and we never will because
she just walked onto the set. It was weird.
And after that, they're like, okay, you're just gonna be the one that takes care of the boy whenever we need a scene, so he could get the fuck out of the scene, and we're just doing something else, and then you die. And she's
I have a logistical question.
Yes.
And this is like a plot hole in the film.
Oh.
The two guys on the boat that isn't messed up with Michael, who has a head wound. that knocked him out. He's definitely got a concussion at that point, right? Also, they have him on the boat and they say, "Hey, we got to get him to the doctor."
Yeah,
Real
and
quick.
because you see like there's the blood's like right there near his ear and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Why don't they take the little brother with them to be like, "Hey, you know who should be here so he isn't worried about like dying?"
yeah,
His little brother. That way they're together. It would have taken 45 seconds. They were not far from the other boats. But
they
nope,
were.
we can't wait 45 seconds on this
We gotta go.
sailboat.
But remember when those guys have the brother and they meet the dad when the dad's trying to find them, the boy, his son magically doesn't have that red the red blood on his ear anymore, and he looks perfectly clean, like if he just got on set the next day with nothing on.
Well,
Probably because he got on the set next day and had nothing on.
I just noticed that when I was watching, I'm like, oh yeah, you got your head done, but you're like, oh, you said it fixed you, right? Okay, yeah, because we don't see the makeup anymore on your face anymore.
You know what they probably did? The two guys in the boat, they probably were like, "Hey, you know what'll fix this? Spit shine." So they just started spitting at him
Oh
and
God!
shining him with a rag. Not even a rag. It was a frayed rope. They used a frayed rope. By the way, I know it's boats and ships and I already know Stefan's gonna comment and be like, "Actually, boats aren't ships." You know what I mean. It is a maritime movie, but there is a lot of rope in this movie. There's just a lot of rope. Rope is like the third highest. The National Rope Board must have paid a lot of money to have rope featured in this movie because there's a lot of rope, and I know you need rope to like cast lines and hoist the mainsail, and these are all nautical terms that I'm quite skilled with, being a marine biologist. But and a salesman,
Rep.
one who sails.
Yes.
But there's a lot of rope. I just wanted to point out the amount of rope in this movie is obscene.
It's a lot of rope.
And anyway, they just have all this rope and they just tie all the little screwed up, semi-sunk boats together. And they're like, "Hey, look, it's one giant raft now." Okay, cool, good idea. Also, any of those really shitty boats have, I don't know, like oars?
Mm.
You have an oar on any? You have any oars? If you had an oar, you know what you could do? You could paddle. You could paddle in such a way that you didn't splash, thus making noise and rapid movements. You could just slowly paddle, which, by the way, would be pretty important since they're drifting and they're vaguely going towards, what's it called? Cable Junction Island or something, which is just a rock in the middle of the ocean with a high voltage power station. And that's it.
Oh yeah, and then the helicopter comes down and they're like, "Yay, we're saved, everybody!" And the guy's like, "Okay, grab the rope," and they're like, "Okay," and he's like, "Hold on to something," and before he could fly any higher, that's when Jaws is all like, "Surprise, motherfucker!" And then he just comes in,
I am Jaws. I am Jaws.
And then he's all like, "I'm gonna eat you, you helicopter man." And the helicopter man's like, "No!" And then the whole helicopter literally falls apart, and pieces of the helicopter are flying like, and it's like breaking pieces of the boat. I'm surprised there weren't scenes where pieces of it hit the kids, but that would have been like really brutal. That would have been that kill total from Jaws would have gotten higher. I'm just saying.
See, what I thought was going to happen and it didn't. They tied. Okay, all of the boats are tied together.
Yes.
The guy on the helicopter throws a rope to the tied together boats, and he says, "Fashion it to the boat. I'm gonna fashion it to the helicopter, and I'm going to pull y'all to Cable Junction Island, and everyone goes, "Hooray!" and like they're gonna be rescued, right?
Yeah.
I thought what was gonna happen was Jaws was gonna do exactly what Jaws does, which is he bit the pontoon of the helicopter and pulled it down, and I thought it was just gonna sink, thus pulling the boats down with it. But the Jaws like bit the rope, and the rope broke, and we didn't get to have that happen. And I was like, oh dang.
Yeah. Jaws just really hates rope in general.
Jaws hates rope. That's why. And let's cut to the end here.
Yep.
When Chief, what's his first name? When the Chief shows up.
Yeah.
And they are, you know, the drifting boats are near-ish the island of Junction Cable. Yeah. And he has the police boat, which is a metal boat, so he's already a step ahead of the game because it's metal. He crashes the boat after Jaws shows up into the island. That's a problem. Blah blah blah, chaos, blah blah blah. Some people fall off, somebody else gets eaten. Oh, but his kid's still on the young kid is still on one of the boats. And like his solution to, oh my god, how do I save my kid, is, oh hey, look, a high voltage power line. I'll just cook the shark. I'll make the shark bite the cable. The high voltage will kill the shark. Which, wouldn't you know it? That's how it works. It's like a foolproof plan. The shark bites the cable.
I was just surprised the chief didn't get shocked.
But you want to know why? The Chief was in a rubber boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That rubber boat that had to be there for rescuing. He shimmies down the cable, which it's like he threw a rope, more rope. He threw a rope from the island, from the ship, to the bound up rafts, so that he could pull them in by using the winch that's on the boat that's beached on the island. But to do it, he had to use hooks that were on the winch, and the hooks got into the cable, so they pulled the cable up. And then he decides, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shimmy down this high voltage cable. That'll get me there faster. Anyway,
do you guys
like all Jaws movies, the shark dies.
Yes,
I did enjoy the way that this shark died. I thought it was kind of an interesting way of doing it.
He just got burned and
he got electrocuted.
And he died. But do you remember? There's one thing before I want to end it that I want to mention. I remember there's a scene when they're like when the kids are stranded on the boat in the middle of the ocean, and they're trying to get the little brother to go on the boat with them. And they're trying to get him the rope, but the kid is still traumatized because the girl the older woman that was with him taking care of him got eaten right in front of him. And they're throwing the rope, and the supposed best friend of the brother, that curly haired dude, was come on dude, get the rope, dude, come on, and then to the point where he got real frustrated, he's all like, yo kid, if you don't get the fucking rope, I'm gonna beat your ass, dude. Come on! Yeah. And then that's when the kid's like, okay, I'll get the rope. He's all like, that's what I thought. And then that part just made me laugh because he's like, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass if you don't get that rope, little kid.
Another funny part. This is after all of the boats are like bound together by rope and are drifting.
Yeah.
One of the guys is like, we gotta try to get to Cable Junction Island. Well, what if we miss it? What's after that? And the guy goes, the Atlantic. And after that, Ireland. That was funny. That was good deadpan humor. The Atlantic, and after that, Ireland.
And then she screams because she heard Ireland. I'm kidding. Like, it's one of those death-curdling screams. Like, that's how scared she is to hear that. Like, oh, what's wrong with Ireland? Hold on.
Nothing. This show brought to you by the Irish Tourism Board. Go to Ireland, have a good time. Maybe not right now.
Go to
Maybe wait a while, because
and then go to Ireland.
COVID.
I want to go to Dublin. I want to go to Dublin so I can go to the Guinness brewery.
I want to go to Ireland. Just because.
So Jaws 2 times the 3.
Yeah, that was Jaws 2. If you want, yes, at the ending, Shark gets electrocuted. Jaws got electrocuted to death, and then after that, we just see them all swimming away back home, and then the sunset happens.
John Williams ending them, finishing them off,
like by killing them.
Yes, he takes a gun, goes up to them, and kills them.
Kills them all. But that was Jaws. Mr. Robin, what is your overall thoughts and ratings on Jaws 2?
Well, if we're talking about the sequels, I think it's the better of the 3. Obviously, way better of the 3. But like, it did feel like it felt like it can be a movie that's on its. It feels like it could be a not so disappointing sequel, even though there's quite a bit of plot holes. But I'm willing to give it a 3 out of 5 stars because I think because of the 3 sequels, I think it's the better movie of the 3. But that's my rating and thoughts.
Gotcha. Interesting. What about you, Mr. Will?
That means he didn't like my take. I'm kidding.
What was the overall ratings and thoughts on Jaws numero dos?
You know what? I'll give it. I'm gonna give it a 3 as well, because it was fine, right? It wasn't like completely shit. Okay, the demon that lives in Edgar's digestive tract didn't like that one. So it was fine, right? Like, I understand it's a sequel and it's from the late 70s, so it's got like blah 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 bad 70s movie shit. But like, we've watched movies from the 80s that have bad 80s movie shit in it, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's better than Jaws 3. And it's not as bad, Jaws 4 is bad good. Jaws 4 is ridiculous. This one is just like, it's not great. It's just not like terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I'm being a little generous with the 3 because, or maybe it's just how I feel right now, having watched a Jaws movie 3 weeks in a row. I'm getting a little bit over Jaws. Because, after 3 weeks of it, there's a shark. People react to the shark.
Yeah.
Shark dies. Jaws. Finn.
Finn.
But it was better. It was better quality. They had better music than 3 and 4.
Yeah.
The acting in parts was better than 3 and 4. When you look at the main storyline, it makes more sense. The chief did a better job of acting than, there were some scenes that didn't make any, they made sense. They were just anyway, I'm going to give it a 3. I could watch this one again down the line.
Yeah.
Edgar, what are your thoughts and ratings for this movie?
So, as we've been echoing, this comparing Jaws 2 to the rest of them, to 3 and 4, it's the better out of them. It's better than them, easily. That being said, the movie, there is a lot of issues I have with the movie, especially with a lot of these side plots that don't go anywhere and or don't really need to be there, and to the point where it just makes the film just really bloated and just feels like if it's it shouldn't be that long. The length of the film shouldn't be that long.
I agree.
It has some moments where it's kind of funny, where it's just like it could be bad funny, and there are some interest, and the effects with the shark is like as good as the first one, because that's when they still had the budget and the popularity of Jaws was still there, so a lot of like props with it. But like even if you take out a lot of like the side plots and anything that's useless from the movie, the film at overall is just the original one, just not as good. I wouldn't say I hated this. I don't think it was as bad as 3 and 4. I don't think so. I don't also, but at the same time, I don't think it was great or really good. It had like it was. I want to say it's really in between. Hence, why I'm gonna give it a 2.5 stars. It's in the middle where it's not terrible, but it's not good either. It's very in the middle. Like, especially if you're comparing it to Jaws 3D and Jaws The Revenge, it's not as bad as those movies. It's not like Jaws The Revenge where it's so bad that it's good. It's not like Jaws 3D where it's just really bad. But Jaws 2 is really in the middle. Like, it's average. It's nothing like, it's not good, not bad, but I wouldn't call this.
It's nothing to write home about, kind of.
Yeah, there's nothing to it that you could be like, oh, this is memorable. No, it's an average one. I don't think it's not the worst. All of them, I'll say that. I think the other ones are, but yeah, 2.5 stars for me. That's what I would give it. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done yet. We got one more segment for the show, and that's our Untitled segment idea. So, without further ado, we're gonna play the intro with a 1, a 2, a 1, 2. Untitled segment idea.
There's a ghost. It's haunted. Your computer is now infected with a computer virus.
No,
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Untitled segment idea.
Oh.
I'm still just. Oh no! Okay.
We'll start with Mr. Robin. Robin, what have you recently seen, watched, read, etc., etc., etc.?
So I watched this documentary on Hulu, about it's a depressing topic, but it's quite relevant given what has recently happened politically wise. But I won't get into it. It's a documentary about the events of 9/11 from the survivors' perspective. And it's actually pretty good. I finished it all up. It's like 6 episodes by Natural Geographic. So it's pretty good. You get new insights on what happened on that day. And there's also it's also partnered with the National Memorial and Museum.
Oh yeah.
So give it a watch.
Haas00312 was here, has accepted the hamburger. Wow, dude.
Nice.
Thank you so much for accepting the burger, man. Hope that's the best burger of your goddamn life, dude. Hope it's the best thing you've ever had. Thank you.
Do we know them?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, well, welcome in, unknown person. It was just there was a tone to Edgar the way you said it that I thought maybe you knew them.
No.
But thank you and welcome.
Welcome.
Robin, you were saying?
Well, I was gonna say I'd probably give it like a because I finished it, so I would review it. I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars for a documentary. It's pretty good. So
Not
highly
bad.
recommend it. That's what I did. Yeah.
Ah, nice. Oh yeah, in the chat, Jabberwocker's asking, why is Robin playing Fallout 4 while doing the pod? I
Well,
don't know.
your eyes play tricks on you. For I am just sitting on my desk by my computer.
He's like,
Will,
Will, what
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you-
No, I'm fine letting Robin sweat this out. Okay. So I actually I've been watching Supernatural.
Oh.
I
Nice.
don't know if I've mentioned me watching that before, but
Mm.
back in the day, my roommate, my old roommate, Ryan, he used to we had a smart TV downstairs, right? And so
Yeah.
he would watch Netflix on it. And so like whenever I would come in, and he'd be watching something, or I'd come downstairs to the kitchen or something, he'd be watching it. He watched Supernatural, and like he had seen it before, but he was like watching it through again. And I would just jump in at random episodes with him, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is fun." Um, and I was like, I need to watch this because I liked it, and there was a couple episodes that he was like, you need to see this episode. I was like, okay, so I was watching it, and then like I don't know if y'all know this, but there are a shit ton of episodes
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't there
of
like seven?
Supernatural.
Isn't there like 7 or 9 seasons of Supernatural? Because I know it recently ended. I know that.
There's how many seasons of Supernatural are there? There's 15 seasons.
Oh my god.
Oh
There's
fuck! I wasn't even close.
there's 15 seasons, 327 episodes, okay? Okay. 15 seasons. So I I started watching this like 3 or 4 years ago now at this point, right?
Mhm.
I'm now in season 11. I just like watched it for a while and then took a big break and went back and to be like, all right, let's get back into it. And I like it. It's fun.
Mm.
And you know, the monsters and stuff. Yeah, they're
It's
bad. Got
modern
it.
day Scooby Doo.
It's Scooby Doo, but better.
Yeah.
And I like it. And like, I'll agree that there's like as the seasons go on, there's like a dip in quality, but like, you know,
Hmm.
you're with Sam and Dean and they hunt monsters and it's
Yeah.
fun. Okay,
Yeah.
I've been
I knew.
doing that.
Yeah. I knew a lot of people like would be watching Supernatural. I never really saw Supernatural. I've seen other CW shows like when The Flash came on and all the other ones, but I never really got. I never gave it. I never saw or gave it a chance. Supernatural because since it was already like had seasons ahead and I didn't have like Netflix at the time to catch up with it. But so.
It's on Netflix. I'd give it a watch. You know, it's fun.
Mm.
There's just a shit ton of it though. So like, you know,
Yeah.
and I've also been playing Skyrim more.
Ah.
I made a new character. So I've never beaten Skyrim. I have started playthroughs and then I just scrap them because I'm like, I don't remember what I'm doing anymore, and it's been a while, and so I just scrap them and start over. And I know what happens in the end, like because I know I have YouTube. I know the storyline, right? But
Yeah.
like this character that I'm doing is an orc, and I've decided that instead of going stealth archer, which is what like I think the default is for everybody when they first get started, or magic, I'm going just straight up like two-handed weapons. You just kill people by beating them in the face, right? So it's fun. By the way, my character's name is Frank Reynolds. So I walk into Swindler's Den and I started blasting. Um yeah, it's fun. So that's me. Edgar, what have you been uh doing with your spare time, etc.?
Ah, well, other than just the schoolwork and regular work, I've been still playing some Ghost of Tsushima because I'm just hey, it's I'm still going through it. I'm still like around the beginning because I'm like I like to explore a lot in the world. The environments make it feel like if I'm playing Breath of the Wild again, not like as like technical wise where you can like climb anything and other stuff, but like it has that same feeling as Breath of the Wild where you're like you could stop anywhere you want and just look around the environment and just be like at awe and feel like there's like this kind of like comfort and peace with it. And it's also that kind of game where like you could find these stuff around the land and like stumble around and you're like, oh cool, and you're like, oh that's pretty neat, like oh I could get something cool out of that, like an upgrade or like costume or like a samurai skin sword for it. And that's what I really like that about Ghost of Tsushima. It's another open world game that I've been playing, and it gives me that same like enjoyment and feeling I got when I was playing Breath of the Wild. So I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with Ghost. I'm so happy. I'm loving Ghost of Tsushima so far. I had some worries, but I'm loving it so far. Other than that, I've
Did you
been
did you know that he was loving it so far, Will?
yeah.
I understand that.
Mm. And and the other game I've been playing, which I did do a stream of this recently a while ago, was I played Psychonauts, and it's a platformer, and I forgot it's by oh man, I forgot the name of the studio, but I know it's had good hands on it. The writing itself is pretty good. It has the voice actor. I'm so sorry that I can't remember his name, but I remember him from Invader Zim and the voice of Billy from Billy and Mandy. Or if you're like Robin,
Sean Connery.
or if you're like Robin and grew up with Destroy All Humans, he was
Yes.
he was the leader, right?
Yeah, he was Pox,
Pox.
who's the guy that gives you the main missions.
Mm. Yeah, and he's the main character in this game called, the character's name is Rasputin, but they call him Ras.
Rasputin.
That's all we can afford of that song.
Yes.
But the platformer, it took me a while to find out what I gotta do after like doing some other stuff, but I think like kind of like the psychic powers and the world itself really feels like it was like a Tim Burton-esque kind of like movie, especially how they're designed. But I do love the idea of you're doing you're platforming and going through you're going through like a different character's mind, excuse me, in order to traverse a level and continue it. And I think that's such an interesting idea for a platformer, and I am excited to continue playing it. Hopefully I can stream it soon. I know hopefully I can, but yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Other movies and shows, not much at the moment. There are some, but I do want to talk about them in mini episodes, so stay tuned for that. And
Nice.
but mostly just been doing some video games, and but that's what I've been doing. And yeah, I guess that's the end of the show, guys. But of course, just to remind you guys, next week it's gonna be the episode of the last episode for Shark Month. So
Yeah.
of course, where you already know what the movie's gonna be, so we don't have to say anything. So
Yeah.
just make sure, just stay tuned for next week's show. That's the final one. And just as a heads up, after our Shark Month, we're doing TV Month. So basically, as a refresher, we're gonna each of us are gonna pick a TV show, and we're all gonna watch the first season of it, and we're gonna discuss it through the episode. So there's gonna be an episode where it's gonna be Will's choice, and then it's gonna be Robin's choice, and then it's gonna end off with mine, since that's what we already have it planned. So get excited for that, because we're actually gonna be talking about TV shows. So
Nice.
something you knew. So keep your eyes out on that, and of course you can follow us in the social medias on the Facebook and the Twitters and the Instagrams. Subscribe to us on the YouTubes. Follow us here on Twitch, and as well as on Spotify. You could also follow our two lovely co-hosts here, Robin and Will, on their Twitters right there. You can see right here.
I'm more active on Twitter now.
Yeah.
I thought about writing something the other day. I didn't, but I thought about it.
Mhm.
So that's more active, you know.
Hell yeah. So if you want to keep up with them, you could follow them on the socials. And if you want to keep updated with when we go live or when new episodes are uploaded onto our channels on YouTube and Spotify, you could follow us on the social medias as well. So anywhere you guys can get us and see us. So, and of course, we want to, again, we're always going to thank our lovely buddy, Mr. Garudin, for the song that he let us use for the intro of our songs. A talented man, such a talented, beautiful man. You could follow him, and the links descriptions below as well. Or, give him a follow, listen to more of his awesome jams, dudes. And that's what I wanted to burp on. But
Okay.
Mr. Will or Robin, any last words before we head off into the world?
We can never we couldn't have gotten this far without the help of our sponsor, Tom Selleck's mustache. Now, I know when I see a good mustache, and that's when you see Tom Selleck's mustache.
Yeah.
So why don't you go down to your local bodega and get your very own Tom Selleck's mustache?
Will?
I have no comments at this time. I would like to say, merch. Yeah, merch. Buy the merch. Got merch. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have any merch. But hey, if you want some merch, y'all should let us know and you comment in the Discord. Hey, we've got a Discord.
That is true.
Boom. Discord.
Join the community, guys. Join our community. You could give us a recommendation. You could post memes on there. Talk about other stuff. We have other stuff and other chats where you could talk and stuff. You could also recommend us any films that we could look into and see what we can watch and stuff. That they could be part of our future episodes. If you give us a recommendation with those, we could probably be like, hey, that movie's kind of cool or that show's kind of cool. Let's go watch it and we'll review it. It's all like that. But join the community. It's a growing community in our chat, and we love every single one of you guys for the support and stuff. And share this stuff to your friends, to your family, to your brother, to your grandmother, to your grandfather, to your aunts and uncles. Share them to everyone. Get them to follow us here. And we would love to have merch in the future. Hopefully, one day in the future, we can have a Grand Slam merch or merch about famous historian Will from South Texas, microbiologist, author, and Robin's History Hour, and all that other goody stuff. But
also, if you subscribe right now, you get 50 pounds of mayonnaise in the mail. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We are not doing that. But yeah, mayonnaise. No, we want to appreciate. We want to say we're very appreciative of all of the people who have subscribed and given us bits. We appreciate that. Because we're saving up. We're gonna get a pony. No, I'm just kidding. We're saving up to get some better equipment and stuff. Maybe in the future, Robin and I won't be pictures. We'll actually be human beings that can move. I'm not guaranteeing that, but maybe
real boys.
We're in the 2-dimensional void right now, and one day we might be 3-dimensional. Maybe, but who knows? I think that's everything. Hey Edgar, play the song. Play the song that takes us away.
Well, thank you all for watching. We love you all. Hope to see you guys soon or next time whenever we go live. And bye-bye. Bye. Look, it's a bear. It's a bear and a baby.
Mary, where's my McRib?
Mary.